Personally, I didn't want to do this, but my Igbo brothers, Ndi-Igbo, insisted I replied. This woman, she has dragged me for the first time, but I let it slide because I don't like banding words with pliable lowlifes who are still being subjugated all in the name of religion. Let's hear what she has to say.
The propaganda that there's a genocide happening to Christians in this country, majority they are talking about Christians in northern Nigeria. Today, because the Christians in northern Nigeria are very wise, they know that they are suffering these things together with the Muslims, that there is no exception. Christians are not coming out, they're not saying anything. For some group of people who want the division of this country, who say they don't want this country in the first place, they are the one pushing this agenda more. We are watching. We are watching.
First, you are an inveterate liar to say that there is no Christian genocide going on in the north. I lived in the north for over 13 years and I can explain firsthand the targeted Christian genocide plaguing Plateau, Borno, Benue, Yobe, and the rest. According to reports by International Society for Civil Liberties and Rule of Law, Inter-Society, a Nigerian NGO, since 2009, at least over 50,000 Nigerian Christians have been brutally murdered at the hands of Islamist militants. Madam Negative Activist, can you say same for the predominant Muslim population in the north? Alright, you admitted that both Christians and Muslims are being bad. Let me agree on that. But who exactly are those responsible for the destruction of lives? Who are those behind the mothers, you bloody sucking daughter of a bitch? You think you can come around, set up camera to blabber and reduce the mother of innocent people in the north to nothingness just because you're trying to push an Islamic agenda? Madam, run inside and hide in your hijab in shame. Go! Come on, get out! Mention one state that Muslims have been eyed during their Jumat service. None, right? But there are numerous churches that have been burnt down in the north, even down to Yoruba land, where your bloodthirsty brothers besieged and destroyed. Who killed Deborah Yakubu for blasphemy? Who killed Madam Chioma Abahimi for telling a Muslim not to perform ablution in front of her shop? Who slit the throats of Pastor Mrs. Olawale during her parking morning preaching in Kubwa? Or of the All church attack 3 years ago, where 40 innocent worshippers were died at St. Francis Xavier Catholic Church. Or of the Madala church bombing in Suleja, Niger State, where over 35 parishioners were decimated by a bomb blast. Where have you heard that a Muslim was brutally died because he was practicing his religion? The list goes on and on and on. In your hate-filled mind, you won't advise your bloodthirsty brothers to sheath their swords and stop invading people's lands. You now try to rope in Ndi-Igbo into the discussion because we are the ones opposing your Islamization agenda in Nigeria. Madam Negative Activist, Ndi-Igbo will continue to stand on the path of righteousness. And your Islamization, whatever, won't fly in Nigeria. If you all are not content with Nigeria being a secular state, you can as well use the door. Get out and go back to Nigeria where you belong.
We are watching. Nigerians, it is time for you to know who is the enemy within. Northern Nigeria was a part of the country that was built on brotherhood. These people came in. They were given houses. They were given place to stay. They were welcomed in. But what did they end up doing? They fueled the division in the north. Yes, I will say it anywhere. They fueled the division in the north. In the whole of history of Nigeria, there has always been a conflict, even before independence. The Nupes were fighting with the Yorubas, the Ibiras were fighting with the Igalas. There has always been history of conflict. But these people came, they are giving shops, they are giving houses, they live peacefully, they do transactions all over this country. But anywhere they go, they fuel division among the people, all in the name of looking for their own country. Hausa, it is time for you to embrace your Kata brothers, your Biram brothers, just people. It is time for you to leave the nonsense of religious crisis. These people.
You said Ndi-Igbo came to the north and we're given lands and places to stay. Really? Negativity, you are outrightly delusional. Mention a piece of land that was given to the Igbos in the north to stay. Or you better shut your dirty mandibles and maxilla. Every land we occupy in the north and everywhere in Nigeria was bought with our hard-earned money. Come on, we are not beggars and invaders like your Fulani brothers who would rather dispose you of your lands than to pay and get them legitimately. Look at that cow whose brothers are still living in thick forest, kidnapping and buying innocent people is saying they give us lands. I only blame the indigenous Hausas for liberally accommodating you guys. But what did you all do to them in return? You stripped them of their lands and made them second-class citizens in their own lands. Go to Sabongari in Kano. Igbos bought the lands legitimately and developed it to taste. We don't do basic, madam. But in the southeast, you all will build shanties and be polluting our lands. The last time I was in Aba, these guys at Arera Junction and Onions Market at Orata, everywhere reeks of shit and urine. Because whenever it rains, the northerners there will release their sewage right on the express road. And that way. To fear one, God forbid, we come to the land and invest heavily, but you come to ours and destroy and pollute it. Who then is leeching off who? Hausa-Fulani. You didn't give us anything. We worked hard and got every single thing we have in the north. I'm glad other Nigerians are seeing through your lies. More bingo. Now the chicken have come to rust and Donald Trump wants to weed out terrorists from Nigeria. You are running kitty kitty kata kata like a headless chicken trying to apportion blames to those who have done nothing to you. Nay, gather together with your mercenaries. We Igbos don't care. Come for us and you always stumble and scatter. We are the father that fathered your fathers.
Let us start boycotting. If you are sitting down there with millions in your account and you don't know what to do, start importation business. Is that not the only thing that they are so proud of? Where are our rich Hausa people? Where are our rich Yoruba people? Where are our rich people in this country? Stand up and start doing those same businesses. By the time we have boycotted them, it is then they would know how important it is for us to accommodate each other in this country.
You are calling for the boycott of Igbo businesses. You want to try? HRA1. Start it now. If you have the vim, start it. Igbos have never stopped anyone from doing businesses. If we say you are lazy, you will say that we are arrogant. Madam Negativity, bring out 100 million naira and go to China and import 1 container of goods and see whether Uvuagari Kugilone say you think it's by yapping up and down online. There's a reason we control the economy of Nigeria. Truth has been ingrained in us. In Igbo land, our days and names are named after markets. Eke, Ori, Afro, Nko, are not your mates. These are spiritual custodians that direct the demand and supply of goods in Nigeria. If you can conquer this mercenary spiritual colossus, then you will scratch Ndi-Igbo. Whatever that goes up must come down. After blabbering like a nama you are, you will still return mad patronage to Igbo businesses. And no matter sugar, get out. I'm still coming for you. I'm back with part 2 of my response to Madam Negativity's attack on my people. I will not let slides about Ndi-Igbo go unchallenged. Not on my watch. I'm committed to defending the truth, protecting our dignity, and standing for the honor of our people. Are you ready? Let's hear her again.
Biafra wants to go, Biafra wants to go. What are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? Have 5 of your states in this country. Lead by example. Leave those shops of yours, leave those buildings of yours, go back to your state and start developing it. If you are serious. Develop your state, develop your political system. Stand today and get people in the House of Representatives who would hear your voice and see if every Nigerian will not let you go.
First, the idea that the Igbos only belong to 5 states is a lie meant to divide us. The truth is that Igbos are indigenous across the southeast, into all the south-south, and 2 states of the north-central. In other words, Ndi-Igbo are indigenous to 13 states in Nigeria, and they include Abia, Akwa Ibom, Anambra, Bayelsa, Benue, Cross River, Delta, Ebonyi, Edo, Enugu, Imo, Kogi, and Rivers. Anyone who doubts this can check reliable sources online, ChatGPT, Groku, or DeepSeek, and post what they find in the comments. I've already done my homework. Please, my mercenaries, Ndimjaba, Ngwano, confirm and post receipts in the comments. Post it in the comment section, sharp, sharp. Madam Negativity is also telling the Igbos to leave other parts of Nigeria and go back to their land to develop it. That suggestion shows ignorance. Igbo land has seen it all, the good, the bad, and the ugly. In 1967, we wanted to leave Nigeria as we have had enough of this same festering nonsense going on now. What happened? The Northerners, alongside the Yorubas, with the foreign assistance, with the British, for us to stay back. Imagine 3 years of war, towns destroyed, and millions decimated and displaced. After the war, we picked up our broken pieces and rose again. Today, Igbo is one of the most developed region in the country. If you don't believe that, pick up your phone, search the most developed region in Nigeria, and show the results in the comment thread. We deal in facts here, not propaganda. Let's be frank about development across the country. Go to the north and you will see vast, sparsely populated areas where roads stretch for hours and hours without houses. The underdevelopment choke. If you are traveling from Igbo to the north, immediately you leave Enugu State and enter either Igala areas of Kogi and Idoma areas of Benue, you'll be disappointed with the underdevelopment there. Kalabashantayabala. Chineke na mi. Mud houses, and thick forest everywhere. That's why kidnappers and terrorists operate heavily in those areas, because the thick forest and sparse population in those areas give them a huge advantage. If you go further north into Nasarawa, Plateau, Bauchi, Kaduna, Jigawa, Kano, and the rest, you'll be disappointed. Those areas are thinly populated as they live in clusters and poorly serviced. Outside of major cities and a few big towns, many rural communities in the north lack basic infrastructure. There are also many IDP camps scattered across the north because of insecurity. Listen, Igbo is the most secured region in Nigeria. You see all of these things they are telling you on non-government kidnappers, IPOB, blah, 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 shit. They are propaganda orchestrated by the northerners and the westerners so that we will leave our land and start developing theirs. But we will not buy to that. We will not buy that. But in all their rubbish and nonsense, there is no single IDP camp in Igbo land. In fact, if you are coming back from Benue into Igbo, immediately you enter Obolafo, the atmosphere changes. You will see solid building, mansions, and thickly populated and developed villages. I'm currently running a series on Igbo towns and villages. I believe you guys know. I have a catalog of over 500 Igbo towns and villages I'm here to cover. All kudos to my brother. Oh, you travel and tour from Enugu. Oh, you travel, Birikwe, you so much. Please, Ndi-Igbo, support that guy. He's doing a massive and great work for us. I won't also forget my Mbano brother, Ebo Media on YouTube, who pioneered this vision of covering Igbo villages. Rest on my champion. Surprisingly, I'm not even featuring our cities or just rural areas and towns. And trust me, no village outside Igbo, outside Igbo land, be it in Yoruba land or Hausa land, comes close. In Igbo, we call it Nkale. You guys are not our mates in anywhere. We are the oldest in this Nigeria, and our civilization dates back to thousands of years back. The Ugwele Stone Age site in Okigwe, Imo State, dates back to 40,000 years ago. This proves that Igbo land has been inhabited by Ndi-Igbo for over 40,000 years, making it one of the earliest known settled areas in Nigeria. Together with Leja iron smelting sites, Igbo artifacts, and Nri civilization, they reveal that Igbo has an ancient and continuous civilization spanning tens of thousands of years. That's why we are called the Igbos, Ndi-Igbo, the ancient people. Like I said in my other post, we are the father that fathered your fathers. So when someone lectures the Igbos about development while ignoring the realities at her backyard, that person is mendacious. Not only is the person a chronic liar, the person is either foolishly ignorant or clandestinely dangerous. Because you see the truth staring hard in your faces. But because you want to sound woke, you lie to doctor the reality. But mbano, dog vam with the harshest truth. Because we Igbos live and work everywhere in Nigeria. Our presence outside our enclave of Southeast and South-South shows we are industrious and mobile. Our population is obviously larger than some people assume. We are mostly monogamous and family-oriented. We dominate the Southeast and South-South and still come second after indigenous population of the Southwest and Northern Nigeria. We are MTN everywhere you go. And it's not just in Nigeria. Every country in Africa is feeling our vibes. From Ghana to Senegal, from Kenya to South Africa, Igbos are popular. What of Europe, Asia, and America? There is no country in the world, except some of Arab nations, that you don't see huge Igbo population. They have their communities and they celebrate their annual Igbo Day. There's this wonderful guy called Onyenso on TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram, even YouTube, that is doing a marvelous job of covering Igbo days in European countries. Onyenso, your days belong. Forget it. Igbo is a mighty masquerade that cannot be moved. You will rarely see an Igbo person begging on the streets. If you travel across Nigeria, you will notice different patterns of poverty and need. And the picture is more complex than some make it out to be. And the dregs of the Nigerian society are the northerners, backward, illiterate, and underdeveloped region in Nigeria. These are those that want to impose Sharia on us. God forbid. We will continue to resist until you lots destroy Nigeria. I always tell Ndi-Igbo that what would disintegrate Nigeria are those terrorists in the north if they are not flushed out. Whether Biafra comes or not, we Igbos will prosper and flourish. Oburo Toko. My warriors, grab your popcorn and favorite drinks. This will be a long one. I am ready for Madam Negative Activists and will dismantle the lies piece by piece. Stay calm, stay proud, and keep the truth at the front. Any false claim about Ndi-Igbo will be answered. It will not be silenced. Not on my watch. Anticipate for part 3. This is the part 3 of my analysis on Madam Negativity's attacks against my people. Let me be very clear. I will not allow any lies about the Igbos to go unchallenged. I am fully committed to protecting the truth, dignity, and legacy of Ndi-Igbo. Let's continue from where we stopped.
What benefit are you to us? You only leech on us in this country. We from the northern Nigeria can boldly say we have gained something from the southwestern part of Nigeria and the south-south. We collectively, Dangote today is established in northern middle belt of this country in Kogi State, and it's also established in Lagos. That is mutual benefit.
First of all, Madam Negativity claims that the Igbos are of no benefit to the rest of Nigeria. She says the northerners produce food. And what again did she say the Yorubas produce in Nigeria? She wasn't explicit on that. See, she wasn't explicit on that, and she clearly doesn't know anything. She's just romanticizing Ndi-Igbo man on trying to, buy their favor, which we don't even care. We don't care. How do they say that again? The enemy of your enemy is your friend, right? That's good. Igbos are one-man squads, just like Israel. They hate on us by the Hausa-Fulani and Yorubas combined. Got nothing on us.
We provide food. We provide food. We are the leaders in terms of agriculture in this nation. We provide food and we take it to the west and the south. Majority of the food that's consumed in this nation comes from north. I want to ask a question. What is you people's benefit? What is it about you that if you go today we're going to miss?
Madam Negativity said northerners produce food. That is not entirely true. It is mostly the middle belt people, such as the thieves, the Jukuns, and other indigenous farmers from Plateau, Benue, and Bauchi who cultivate crops. The Fulani, on the other hand, are largely cattle rearers, and in many cases, their herding destroys crops, which is why we see so much farmer-herder conflict and unalivings in the north. Coming to Igbo land, I give it to our Enugu and Ebonyi brothers. They are the food basket of our Igbo. And if the agricultural potential of Enugu and Ebonyi are fully harnessed, we won't even buy anything from the north. So we buy the agricultural produce from the north. She said the north produces food as if they dash other Nigerians the food. Una fit. The irony here is the food that comes from the north are not distributed to the southern states, just like our oil is being sold and used to power and sustain Nigeria. Like oil is drilled from our region by the Nigerian government, sold and distributed as national cake. The northern governors will, out of the oil money, give out subsidies to local farmers who grow their crops and sell to the southerners. Who then is the parasite? You see how you're exposing yourself? Lies upon lies. Ever since Nigeria got independence, the Fulanis have ruled the most, but there is nothing to show for it. We have rather seen cases of bribery, corruption, and looting of public funds. She said Dangote built his refinery in Lagos and other blah blah blah. Why didn't he build it in the north either? The irony here is that the crude oil that Dangote refinery uses still comes from Igbo and other parts of Niger Delta. You don't know. Madam Negativity asks what benefit Igbo land brings to Nigeria. Let's start with natural resources. Igbo land is rich in oil and gas. Imo State is currently the largest producer of gas in Nigeria. Abia and Anambra produce crude oil, while in Rivers and Delta states, the Igbo areas like Oyibo, Ndoke, Boni, Oba, Ebema, Ndoni, and Anyoma are among the highest producers. In education, the Igbos are the most educated people in Nigeria. Imo State is recognized as the most educated state in the country. Igbo people place high value on education, produces a large proportion of doctors, engineers, lawyers, and academics. Our universities, polytechnics, and schools have trained generations of professionals who contribute to Nigeria's development. Igbo research and innovation in medicine, ICT, and technology are driving progress nationally. The achievement of the Igbos in education alone could fuel an entire series of studies, so the evidence is overwhelming. In trade, commerce, and entrepreneurship, Igbos have been merchants and traders for centuries, dominating markets from Lagos to Maiduguri. Igbo businesses are present in almost every Nigerian city and even across Africa. From small traders to large industrial companies, Igbos create jobs, stimulate the economy, and innovate constantly. In industrialization, Igbo states like Anambra, Enugu, Imo, and Abia are industrial hubs, producing furniture, auto parts, electronics, and technology startups. Towns like Nnewi, Anambra State, are called the Japan of Africa for their auto parts manufacturing and industrial ingenuity. The first indigenous car company in Nigeria is Innocent Motors in Nnewi. One of our Aba-made goods that attract hundreds of thousands all over the world. Aba has the finest artisans and craftsmen in Nigeria. Shoes of all types, belts, dresses, suits, garments, gates, doors, glasses, metal fabrications, etc. Aba possesses them all. Go to Powerline and see how your brothers from Sokoto, Kano, they flood Enyimba, they flood Aba, they flood Powerline to buy shoes in their numbers. These industrial clusters produce goods for Nigeria and West Africa, fueling regional trade. In diaspora contribution, the Igbo diaspora contributes billions of naira in remittance annually, supporting families, businesses, and local economies in Nigeria. On social media platforms like Facebook, TikTok, Instagrams, and YouTube, people across Africa celebrate Igbo music, dances, and traditions. Many have even adopted Igbo names. In pageantry, Igbo queens and kings rule supreme. The likes of Bianca Ojukwu, Chidinma Onwe, the current runner-up of Miss Universe, one of Samuel Chinemere Mwajago, has shattered all records by becoming the first black person to win Miss World International. One of Bethel Mbamara, that won Mr. African International recently. Igbos have produced the highest and most successful beauty queens and kings, with their all-rounds. Obron Toko. Writers like Chino Achebe, Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie, Chigozie Obioma, Nnedi Okorafor, and a host of others demonstrate the global influence of Igbo storytelling and literature. In leadership and social contributions, many Nigerian national heroes, politicians, entrepreneurs, and thought leaders are Igbo. Despite historical challenges, the Igbos have integrated across Nigeria, trading, working, and coexisting peacefully in every region. They are known for resilience, innovation, and determination, often reviving communities economically and socially. In essence, the Igbos are pillars of Nigeria's economy, culture, technology, education, and human capital. Without their entrepreneurship, innovation, trade networks, skilled professionals, and cultural influence, Nigeria would not be the vibrant, dynamic nation it is today.